Alright, it's 36 minutes after 6 here on the AM show. We thank you for joining us. Time for us to do the newspapers. Joseph Akablaze joining me. Do justice to the papers this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mavi.
Yeah, you're good? I know the whole Takoradi girl situation is kind of not making you happy this morning.
I'm just struggling to put my thoughts
to accept
together.
it.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
very difficult. And
it is.
For some strange reasons, I just had reason to want to believe that someone who was at the forefront of this matter was acting responsibly, even though the information that was being put out suggested otherwise. But it turned out that, I mean, this was how it was going to end, as many had expected. So it's very unfortunate. But
yeah,
I mean, obviously, we are live at Takoradi. We'll be bringing our viewers the very latest from the family. We understand they are making some demands, and it's also fair. It's very unfortunate that the police press briefing, they didn't allow journalists to ask questions, because I believe that they should be upfront and give us all the details, because as it stands now, there's no investigation pending unless they are still other individuals they are trying to rescue. They should be able to tell us specifics on the timelines, when were they killed. This is something that I'm sure they should be able to even tell from the remains, so that we know, and just for future solving of such crimes, whether we should act, how we should act at every point in time to ensure that we deal with it. I don't know what you make of this.
You know, obviously a very angry family members there. Some reactions coming through, but they have a press briefing today. Okay. They indicated that yesterday. But we also must know, in terms of police administration, what they're doing to correct and to punish people who didn't do the right thing, because we know that at least the first girl went missing back in August 2018. We don't know what they did. Did they even take it serious?
In fact, at the time when the CID took over the case from the regional level, the girls had been missing for months, actually. And so that again tells you that if not for the involvement of the media, this wouldn't have come. And listening to the acting IGP, I get a bit confused, because the speech concludes by making references to various locations in Nigeria. And so there's a bit of question about the location where the murder had taken place.
Did they take them to Nigeria? Did they bring them back to Ghana? Were they killed in Ghana? Were they killed in Nigeria? Bodies brought to Ghana? Lots of questions. Yes, I agree. Should have been an open briefing, so people could ask questions, and then you know, so that we all be satisfied. But we'll see. Maybe something will come up today. Yeah. Let's see what the papers are reporting, how they've captured this. But remember also that this news came in a bit late yesterday, so a lot of the newspapers missed this. But the Daily Graphic has it on its front page. Says Tadi missing girls dead. DNA tests confirm. Also on the front page of the Graphic, Australia visa scandal. Corporate not prosecuted. Document from High Commission not received. Moves to boost depositors' confidence. Deposit Insurance Protection Corporation starts operations in October. Parents, student clamor for SHS placement at Black Star Square. Roland Walker is there for us this morning. We have to apologize. Technology has not been our best friend this morning, but we will certainly get details of what's happening there at the Black Star Square later this morning here on the show. In the center spread of the paper, let's build political systems beyond money. A call by Professor Techiwa Menu, a former director of the Institute of African Studies of the University of Ghana. Stakeholders deliberate on road safety is another story in the center spread. Scrap capital requirements for investors, another headline in the center spread. And then on the back page, 79-year-old bridge collapses on River Ochi, OCHI. This is in the Breman Esikuma Achem Oda Road. Yeah, on the main Breman Esikuma Achem Oda Road, it has collapsed, and this is a 79-year-old concrete bridge. The bridge, already showing signs of weaknesses, collapsed after the river overflowed its banks following a downpour. It has consequently separated adjoining communities and cut off direct links among different areas. Among the affected communities, Ochesua, Fuswansa, Jamra, Benin, Brakwa, and other places. And I hope that I am forgiven for perhaps not mentioning names right. Concrete road linking Tema Port inaugurated. So it's interesting. A bridge linking communities collapses. But then just down that story, there's a concrete road linking Tema Port, which has been inaugurated. Yeah.
The front page of the Finder, it says chaos, anger as students, pregnant woman collapse while seeking SHS placement. National Identification Authority says it has registered 2.9 Ghanaians, that's I guess 2.9 million Ghanaians in 3 regions, and easy to procure a $30 million software. A story on page 5. Ghana strike first cocoa deals with $400 living income premium. And that story is also in the center spread captured of the Finder newspaper. It talks about Ghana striking first cocoa deals. There's also inferior imports driving local manufacturers into extinction. And there's a story about the NPP primaries. EC clears the air over contestants' eligibility. And so those are the main stories in the Finder newspaper.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Ghanaian Times. Front page of the Times is this story, which is also in the paper that you just reviewed. Senior high school replacement challenges. Parent-student besiege center. So on the front page, you find students and parents at the centers. So there's a photograph of that. Yeah, there we go. That's what's there. Takoradi kidnapped girls murdered. According to the police, I killed my son for rituals. Father confesses. Let's replicate Zoom Lions ARICOP nationwide. Parliamentary Select Committee demands. So just looking for the exact program. So the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei Mensah, has asked Zoom Lion to speed up the process in establishing its integrated recycling and composite plants in the Ashanti region to help manage the overwhelming wastes being generated in the region. Man in trouble for GIS enlistment fraud. His name is Fred Dela Ajisam, 56. He allegedly defrauded 6 people in whole of 11,900 Ghana cedis under the pretext of facilitating their enlistment into the Ghana Immigration Service. He's been arrested. All right, center spread of the Times. Joja Chiefs, Queen Mothers applaud President for appointing Joja natives to serve in government. 63 public servants begin 3-month course in Spanish language in Accra. Interesting. And then the story about senior high school placement challenges. It's been the number that we've seen, Joseph, at least from yesterday, it's been more than we've witnessed. It looks like the challenges have been compounded this year. Is that how it looks like?
It looks just that way, and I think we have a crisis on our hands. I mean, someone just must admit that the solution center or whatever solution they claim to be providing is clearly not working. Because yesterday, as at the time they closed, sometime at 12, there were hundreds who were still there. What is interesting is that Latif went back late in the evening, and some of them actually spent the night there, and they were actually praying, calling for divine intervention.
Wow. We
have declared places in schools. People have decided to pick some schools. I think it's a fairly straightforward matter. I struggle to see. I
think what is also even strange is how parents have visited some of the schools. They see their children's name there. They've bought the items school is asking for, only for them to return, and the names are they like struck out?
Kojunako reported that from the Infantipim was very chaotic, in the sense that we understand there was a challenge with the software, such that the school shouldn't have been on a self-placement list, but it ended up on it. So people chose the school, and then now when they are being told that, look, all those who selected the school using a self-placement is in error, because the number has now exceeded to about twice the space available. And so these are people who obviously have to join the hundreds who are at the
that's chaos.
And we've been doing the CSSPS for like many years, since 2007. And
so I think as we roll the free SHS, we should have thought about all these things, because you have huge numbers now going to senior high school.
And it's attractive because obviously it's free.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't.
So the system. So whoever should have thought about. I don't see how you don't think about this, knowing that this will become a challenge. Yeah, you have to think about it and solve it before it becomes a challenge.
The way we are solving it in itself is not moving as fast.
Isn't there a decentralized system? Must everybody come to Accra and come to the Black Star Square to have it solved?
That is the only place we've heard such solutions, aside from the call centers we have heard at the GES announced. And so you have people going there, mothers, you had children collapsing yesterday. You can see some of them in your shots.
It's insane. And to think that somebody also didn't think about the fact that the green track, is it the green track? They've gone back to school. They went back to school on Sunday. Yeah. At least those in boarding school.
So if you have a challenge, there are some people who are actually supposed to be in school, but they are not even
clearly because they have difficulties. So to think that we actually didn't leave room to correct the issues before the school calendar began, that's also a big issue. So you are here and you're supposed to be on one of the tracks which is in school currently. I mean, this is absurd, really, to think that we've come this long and we're experiencing this. These are parents. These are people who have children and wards in that are going to senior high school, and that they haven't been placed. They've been placed wrongly, or there are people who are still struggling with you've been placed.
So in fact, the finder summarizes some of the challenges. So they talked about change of school. People want to change school. There's a change of status. There are some who are from areas that they are supposed to be boarders ordinarily, but they've been given day. They want to change that. There are those who also want to change the course. There are some whose names are not on the school list. And then, so those are the main issues. And they raised the concern that the solution center itself closed quite early. And so it meant that not much could be done in terms
of the solution center really a solution center? Because if it is, we shouldn't see these numbers piling up.
It's not solving the problem as fast as it ought to.
It's not. But should everybody come to the Black Star Square? Seriously. We have districts, educational centers. Are we saying that the computerized placement system is centered in Accra and that's it?
Clearly that's what it is for now. Until we change it. So I think those who are managing our education system from GES through to the ministry, this is the time that in fact they must get to work on this particular matter. We should be able to, they should set timelines for them, so at least within 2-3 days they should be able to resolve it. This doesn't speak well of us at all.
Doesn't.
The visuals don't look good. This is a student who simply wants to go to school to study. That's all.
So the mistake that they've made really is just because they want to go to school.
That's all.
Yeah. That's their crime.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Roland Walker is there for us this morning. We would get a lot more in terms of what is happening today with this account that there are people who actually slept overnight. There are people who want to be there so early so they can queue and be amongst the first to be attended to. So we will check out what the situation is this morning. But really, this is something that should be resolved. This is not political. This is very social. All right. Do you have any papers you haven't done?
The Daily Dispatch, 2-4 speaks, JM answers. Kufuor's margin of victory is also being discussed.
There's a cartoon in the Daily Guide, which you skipped. Can you take us back? It's a cartoon.
Okay, so there is a...
Oh, you have...
It's a cartoon of someone.
Show the thing. Show the thing. Hold it.
Okay.
This is Akosia. It's not Akable.
Maybe the camera can zoom in. Yeah. So it has the caption that Ken is a liar. I don't know who does this look like? You should tell me. Okay, so you can see it in your shot there. Mavi, who does this look like?
I have no idea.
Okay, let me see whether the text gives us some hint. It says no bagawaya, Makan, Julius Caesar, Onapo, John 3:16, and persuaded ? For the way. And then they had someone. There's Akosia is actually a bear there. Akosia is saying in tam kesie o hey. So you should look at it. Who does it look like?
This is as the Daily Guide is reporting. Like? I have no idea, darling. Okay. All right, that's where we leave it. Oh, but this is also becoming like a back and forth. It will end. Let's do the Daily Statesman newspaper. Front page of the Daily Statesman. 3 ritual murders hits Ashaman in one day. Scary. Ejako charges NPP women to lead 2020 campaign. That's Boachi Ejako. Also, John Mahama's rotten record haunts him. NDC members unhappy about JDM's silence in corruption debates. That's the headlines. Front page, the Daily Statesman. The last paper is The Custodian. Government gets 130.5 million Ghana cedis Kuwait fund for Dom Ketase road projects. Election not do or die affair, according to ex-INEC boss, that's Professor Atahiru Jega. Parents, students scramble for free senior high school placements. NDC financiers give up on Mahama 2020 bid.
There's a story in the Daily Dispatch. It's about salted fish. Excessive consumption of Kobe can cause heart-related diseases. That's according to a cardiologist. He says salted tilapia, popularly known as Kobe. There's also a bit about foul-smelling fish known as momoni. It says it's dangerous for one's health, and so you have to take it in moderation. He was speaking at the launch of the World Heart Day in Accra. He says we put so much salt in our foods, which is not good for our health. Excessive intake of Kobe and momoni can also cause heart-related disease, and I advise against it. We have to eat them in moderation. And
so yesterday I learned something. I learned something new. That the original Kobe, like if you want to know that your Kobe is proper, because Kobe is, you use salt to preserve it. It must attract flies. If it is attracting flies, then you know your Kobe is right. If it is not, because of the preservatives they use now, then that's dangerous. Yeah.
I recall some time ago there was this story about the chemical that is used to preserve humans just before they are laid to rest. There was a story that some was being used for the fish, and so that also became a concern.
Yeah. So you still can use your Kobe, just soak it and get the salt out. But if your Kobe is not attracting flies, then you've got the wrong Kobe. At least that's what I learned. Yeah. There's a picture that I missed on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Can we bring the Ghanaian Times back on the screen? It's actually personnel of the National Ambulance Service carrying a collapsed student into an ambulance. Yeah, that's on the front page. So this is part of how things unfolded yesterday at the Black Star Square, the Independence Square. Yeah, one of the young girls being carried into an ambulance. It'll be good to catch up and find out if she's doing okay after that incident. So there will be more on this placement challenges at the Black Star Square. We'll also try and check out what the situation is in other regions as well. Yeah. All right. Do we have time to do myjoyonline.com, or that's it for us here? All right, so let's go to myjoyonline.com. Let's check out what our portal is reporting this Tuesday. Okay.
So the first story there says Akufo-Addo rejected Otumfuo's advice to concede in 2012. That is coming from Esiedin Ketia of the NDC. And deal agreed to pay more to poor cocoa farmers is also one of the major stories there. About 80,000 children in Ahafo, 2 Bono regions, suffer acute malnutrition. Public transport fares remain unchanged in Kumasi, is also being reported. Asante youth condemn NDC over attempts to destroy Asante Kingdom. Action Aid calls for transformation of planting for food and job program. And there are 2 more main stories. New FDA packaged water directives take effect on October 1.
What are they asking?
I think we may want to look at that story.
Yeah. Fred, can you open the story up for us so we learn what the FDA is asking water producers to do, and then we can look out for it? Because if this is taking effect October 1 and this is September what?
We are just today's
September
17th, not too far away. So the story says the Food and Drugs Board on Monday organized a sensitization seminar for producers and importers on the new directives of packaged water. The directives enjoined all non-retail producers and manufacturers of bottled and sachet water to ensure that all labeling information on both primary and secondary packaging are the same. And so
what does that mean?
I don't even get it. So we are talking about, let's take that line again. It says they are to ensure that all labeling information on both primary and secondary packaging are the same. It goes on to say that the name and contact details of the franchise, where applicable, should be on
so
the
which
front
one is primary and which one is secondary
of the pack. I think we should be getting some response from the FDA.
Hey Charlie. If we're going to help you do this, do the necessary checks, we have to understand what this means. So the senior registration officer of the FDA, Madam Gifty Adu, said the authority has realized that there is inadequate labeling information on packaged products, hence the need for the engagement and enforcement. Some producers have resorted to inappropriate product description, which was against the law and standards, stressing that good packaging materials help to prevent contamination of the products. Yeah, I agree with you. We need to get what the information should be, what should be there, in ordinary terms, and if it's not there, what can we do?
And why should it even be of concern to consumers?
Yeah, and should it just be the information, or we must be able to read it? Because sometimes they're really tiny. Yeah. You can't even get what they're saying. Yeah. So lots of questions there. But that's what's on myjoyonline.com. And of course, Takoradi kidnapped girls are dead. Police confirms. Family vehemently objecting this news. They have a press briefing today. Kojie is in Takoradi. Largely, our program will be coming to you live from Takoradi today. Takoradi kidnapped girls, police reputation badly damaged. NDC consoles family. There are people who think that even with this information, some officials, particularly the CID boss, shouldn't be in her position this morning. It should go along. There should be quite a number of people resigning. But that's not something that's very common in our country. So we don't expect that. That would be such a big surprise. But there's some of us who are looking for police to do investigations in terms of their own administrative roles. What should have been done if somebody reports of a missing person? What's the protocol? Did somebody miss any of the steps? Did they begin serious investigations a bit too late into this matter so that they can correct their own administrative actions so that it doesn't happen to the next family, really? I think that's where the concentration is. Do we need another commission to sit on this, to correct the wrongs in this? Because this can be as it is, especially when we know that the first girl at least went missing very long before any investigation at all. Did the Takoradi police take this seriously from the very beginning? Or was it because this was escalated, the media came in a bit later on? That's why the police itself took this very serious. So I hope that, Joseph, we will be able to clear the issues.
Yeah.
We will be able to bring proper lines into it so that we can discuss it progressively.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That we don't put everything together. And then, yeah. All right, thank you, Joseph, for helping me do the newspapers this morning. Stay with us. We'll go to the Black Star Square. We'll also heavily be in Takoradi this morning. But Benedict Akwesi Frimpong, back from Kumasi, is here with details of sports. Stay with us.